Hello, everyone. Welcome to the market simulation kickoff call for spring 2021 release. My name is Antoine Vaidya. I'm your market simulation coordinator, and today is March 8, 2021. Calls and webinars are recorded for stakeholder convenience, allowing those who are unable to attend to listen to the recordings after the meetings. The recordings will be publicly available on the ISO webpage for a limited time following the meetings. The recordings and any related transcription should not be reprinted without the ISO permission. We have the following agenda today. We'll talk about the market simulation support, market simulation issue management. We'll talk about spring 2021 communication plan, map stage availability for spring 2021, the timeline for map stage connectivity testing. We'll talk about different market simulation initiatives and timelines, and the structured scenario registration details. We'll talk about the initiatives separately, and then we'll have a big overview of spring 2021 release. And then we'll talk about next steps. So for ISO market simulation support, the hours are Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can always call on ISO's 24/7 service desk. The number is on the screen. And you can always email marketsim@kaiser.com. Any questions for the support details? All right, moving on. For market simulation issue management, please make sure that when you're logging CD tickets, please use the functional environment as market simulation spring 2021 so that we can route them correctly. Any questions here?
Hi, Inchman. This is Chunyu. Can you hear me?
Yes, Chunyu, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is not related to the spring 2021, so I just want to ask if you can add also market sim fall and summer. That will be very helpful because when we open tickets, some of the tickets is related to the fall and the summer DRS. So it will be helpful that we choose the right category. But currently, I don't think they are as the option in the functional environment.
I will definitely check that.
Thank you.
That's a good point, Chunyu. I will do that. Okay, moving on. So we'll have this following schedule for spring 2021 release communication plan. We'll start from today, and we'll have bi-weekly meetings till April 1st. The WebEx information is displayed here on the screen, and the meeting numbers and the different conference call numbers with the access code. All right, moving on. You can always log into portalmap.kaiser.com to get map stage availability information. Currently, we just have one scheduled maintenance for MRIS application, UI and API both, and they will be unavailable till 10th of March. Any questions on the map stage availability? All right, moving on. So we're planning the connectivity testing for spring 2021 from March 8th, starting today, till March 12th, Friday this week. Any concerns regarding the timeline for connectivity testing? Okay, moving on. So we have 2 projects out of the 5 listed projects for spring 2021 release, which have structured scenarios defined. EIM base schedule submission deadline phase 1 and real-time settlements review phase 1. We are planning to do the real-time settlements review phase 1 on 3/16. And if time is remaining, we'll invest that time in creating scenarios from EIM base schedule submission deadline phase 1. And we have a reserve date to perform the scenario for the base schedule submission deadline project on 3/18 also. Any questions or concerns regarding the structured scenario dates? The market simulation plan is available on the release planning website, and it's available at the following link on the page also. All right, moving on. So date of registration for the structured scenario is March 11, 2021. You can send your registration details at marketsim@kaiso.com if you want to participate for this. I would like to also mention that even though we don't have a structured scenario for hybrid phase 1B settlements part, but if you do want to participate in market simulation and you plan to do any unstructured testing for this particular project, I would recommend that you go ahead and send us the registration details as soon as possible so that we'll make sure that those resources are registered and ready for your testing in MapStage.
Hi, Ashman. This is Ray calling from PG&E. Just to follow up on that, so you're not going to take what we used during the first part of testing from last winter's hybrid resources? So what kind of coordination do you want from other market participants for testing of hybrid resources for the settlement portion? Do you expect us to actually bid into the MapStage and whatnot, or is Kaiso going to just publish details and statements, and we're supposed to look for calculations and updates of the charge code 701? Can you kind of touch base a little bit or elaborate a little bit more on that, please?
Yeah, definitely, and thank you for that question. We would like you to re-register your resources that you want to test in MapStage for hybrid resources. I understand that you have sent out the registration details in the last independent releases where we did this testing. If you're planning to use the same resources, please go ahead and send us the email again, because there were a couple of network models that went in MapStage, and just to make sure that we have adequate resources available for you for testing, if you send us the registration, we'll make sure they're there. Does that answer your question?
It does, but do we also need to do any bidding or anything like that, or is Kaiso just going to publish statements and we should just see the updates in the charge code? Are they going to take back any of the old bids that we did in the earlier testing and use that for statement publishing in this, I guess, market simulation?
So we'll be using another Groundhog Day, and I will let you know the details in the next market sim, but I believe that you'll have to bid in again when you're doing your testing for unstructured scenarios.
Okay, and then should we just follow basically the trade dates that are going to be on the market simulation calendar? I just want to make sure I get all the information ready so that I can convey this to the SMEs.
That is correct, and the settlements calendar is out there, so you can check for the dates, and yeah, you can submit and bid in for those particular dates.
Okay, thank you, Ashman.
Thank you. Any more questions regarding the timeline for structured scenarios?
Yeah, Ashman, this is Chanyu. Just a follow-up on Ray's question. If we were to do any testing for the hybrid resource, can we do it between this window of connectivity, or we have to wait until after the March 12th?
So we would like to get your registration details in, but if you see that your resources are already available on MapStage, the environment will be open and you would be free to test your unstructured cases.
Okay, so that means after we check, it's anytime we can bid in.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions regarding the projects here? Right, moving on. So these are the two projects which have structured scenarios, the EIM-based schedule submission deadline phase 1 and real-time settlements review phase 1. The BRS and structured scenario documents are available on the following links that are showed on the slide. The testing timeline for both the project is between March 15 to April 1st. And the structured scenario for EIM-based schedule submission deadline is March 16th. And real-time settlements review phase 1, I apologize, it says March 18th, but it's actually March 16th. And that should match the date here, March 16th. Any questions regarding the structured scenario dates? Okay, moving on. There are 3 more projects for spring release 2021, the EIM enhancements 2021 phase 1, hybrid resources phase 1B settlements part, and then FERC order 831 compliance, raised bid cap to 2,000 megawatt hour. And the testing timelines for all the 3 projects are between March 15 to April 1st, and their BRS documents are available at the following links. Any questions regarding these 3 market simulation initiatives? Okay, moving on. This is a high-level overview. Go ahead.
All right, can you go back to the last slide?
Sure.
I didn't press the buttons fast enough. So I still have one question remaining for FERC Order 831 compliance. So is the CAISO going to trigger any, just within CAISO, going to trigger a bid cap a bit over 1,000 during this FERC Order 831 compliance?
I believe that we'll have to trigger that scenario. So if you have any scenario in mind, please send us the details of it and we'll try to simulate that as needed. Okay.
I think the question remains as if that situation happens, how the other market participants get notification. I believe that's kind of remain as a question, so I'm not sure if that notification feature is going to be including in this phase.
I understand. I even saw the CD ticket that you have submitted regarding the same. I believe we are checking with our team right now what are the details for this project regarding the notification. As per our SMEs till now, they were not aware of any specific additional notification method, but we are confirming it on our side, and I'll let you know the details soon on the CD ticket.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions regarding these projects? All right, moving on. So this is the market simulation overview. We plan to do this week connectivity testing. The week after that, structured scenarios. And the week after that is mainly will be dedicated for any unstructured simulation that market participants would like to do. Any thoughts, concerns regarding this overview? Okay. And the market simulation plan and market simulation settlements calendar, both are available on the release planning website. So you could check it over there. Our settlement days are going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. Previously, we used to do Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but for this spring 2021, we have planned to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, moving on. That's all I had for today. Next meeting is scheduled on March 11th. Now, if anybody has any other questions, I'm here to answer those.
Hey, Anshuman, this is Stanley with PCI.
Hi, Stanley. Go ahead.
Hey, we had a question on some settlements. We saw another PRR that was out there for, it's PRR 1330. It's covering some changes to charge code 8835. Is that going to be tested as part of this market simulation at some point?
For spring 2021 release, we just have these 5 projects. I'll have to go back and check if these 2 requirements that you're mentioning is part of summer or is it part of spring 2021.
Okay, yeah, because I think this one's going live in April, so I thought it would be tested at some point during the March market simulation.
I see. Do you mind sending me an email at marketsim@kaiser.com regarding these 2 requirements so that I can check with my SMEs?
Sure, I can do that. Thank you.
You can also log a CD ticket for this requirement. We can come back to you formally on this.
Okay, yeah, I can do both. Thanks.
I can answer that actually, Anshuman. This is Mel from Settlement. Yeah, that PRR is like a production defect, Stanley. I don't think we have a market simulation for that. Is there anything specific you'd like to check? We didn't intend to have market simulation.
Oh, okay.
Defect.
Okay, yeah.
But it's going with spring. It's not summer or fall. It's spring. Like you said, it's going in sometime soon.
Okay, gotcha. So this is related to a production defect and not related to any other spring initiatives, I guess.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. And
okay, no,
by the way,
that's fine.
charge code 8835 is under RAIN, and this is something that we would have. I think the first time we will have a settlement for this will be this year, because we have postponed the settlement to T+33 month.
Okay.
And it only happens when there is like a unallocated funds at the end of the year, and we're adding it to be able to allocate flexible type RA. Any unallocated funds at the end of the year for flexible capacity that's coming from RAIN will be distributed. Basically, what this is doing simply give us the right allocation, whoever should be getting allocated any funds that are existing at the end of the year for the trade year.
Okay, gotcha.
That's all. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, that's helpful, Mel. Thank you.
If you have additional questions, just send a CD ticket. Hopefully, we can answer those. Thank you.
Okay. No, I think that takes care of it for me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Stanley. Thank you, Mel. Any other questions that we can discuss here? All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining the call. We'll talk again on March 11th.